Welcome to the Help Her Be Brave podcast show, where we have great ideas on how you can help save lives. I'm Amy Ford.
And I'm Jessica Russo.
And today we're going to be talking with Bourne of Am Fruitful. She is so amazing. She has a ministry that helps women with that has experienced infant loss or miscarriage, pregnancy loss, but then also women that have a heart to get pregnant and are in their waiting season. And she's just amazing. Me and my husband are good friends with her and her husband and gone out to dinner a few times. And she's just like, I just love her heart. She's our people. She is our people. So I want to jump on. Let's bring her on. Hi, Lauren. Thank you so much for being on with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, so Lauren is, I just think that what you do is so amazing and brings so much hope. And we've enjoyed working, Embrace Grace, and working with Am Fruitful, and how you are helping women that have lost their children, but also that have a hard time expecting. But specifically with infant loss or pregnancy loss, this sometimes happens with Embrace Grace moms, which is really hard and sad. And especially you don't want to, whenever a mom finally, she has an unexpected pregnancy and she finally gets over the mental, crisis moment of okay, I'm pregnant. And so I think I can do this. And then they unexpectedly lose their child. It's just a whole mixture of emotions, that's going on. And you guys have been so amazing at just getting these sweet boxes and everything to them, and even training us on how to help them through it. But tell us a little bit about your why. What is your story and why did you start Am Fruitful?
Well, first of all, we love being able to partner with you guys. It's a huge blessing for us to get to be used in that way. But yeah, so I guess I'll just back up and start. When my husband and I got married, we were really ready to have kids. We were already ready. And so we started trying right away. And I'll never forget, we got a phone call. And they told us, it's going to be really hard for you to get pregnant. Details aside. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, this can't be happening. And we have an amazing support system. I've always had strong girlfriends in my life. We've always had strong couples in our life. But even though we were supported, it was such a lonely, hard time while we were trying to get pregnant. And through that time, we ended up having 3 miscarriages along the way. And so I think back then, just the Lord began to plant something in my heart that I wanted to help others who were going through this. I didn't even know what that looked like back then, but I just needed to get through it myself, But I was thinking this morning, I was praying about this podcast, and I was reminded of, I think what really ties my heart for ladies who are grieving with your heart for moms with unexpected pregnancies and with the whole abortion issue, that I remember sitting in the doctor's office, and at this time we were going through fertility procedures, and so I didn't know a lot about the fertility procedures. I really didn't have a lot of knowledge. We were just taking it one step at a time, as you do. We were praying over each decision. I was sitting in the doctor's office, and he said, well, we can just get you pregnant with a few and then just do selective reduction. And he said it like we were talking about what we were going to have for lunch. And honestly, I didn't know what that was. I could imagine what that was, and it took me a second to sort of process, and with the context of what he was saying, realize what it was. And I don't even know if I responded. I think I said no. I'm sure I looked pale, and I didn't even know what to do. And we realized during that time, after that day, that, oh, this is a much bigger deal than just going through fertility procedures and getting pregnant. We have to make some really serious choices. And so I hadn't thought about that story in a long time, because it's been years now. It's been 12 years since that happened. But to me, that's when I began realizing and asking the Lord about the value of life. Well, would that be abortion? What does that look like? How do we make these choices with IVF, with IUI, with all these procedures? Um, and so I have a real heart and burden for couples going through the process of fertility, whatever their choices are. I want them to be educated and understand what their options are and what those words mean. Listening to another one of your podcasts, and you were talking about how doctors put fancy terms around things. And it's so true. They put all these fancy terms and big words, and they change the lingo so that we're confused.
Yeah.
And so I just have a real passion too, along with what we do for ladies who are grieving, with just educating and making sure that people understand, Christian women and couples understand what these words mean, so that they can make decisions based on the Word of God. But we love serving. I think I got off track there a little bit because I got passionate, but we send hope boxes and have retreats for ladies going through miscarriage and trying to get pregnant. And we just love coming alongside them and inspiring hope. One of my passions is just inspiring women that they can thrive in the midst of their waiting, because that's what the Lord taught me during that time that we were going through that. So
that's so good. I remember one time, we've had several girls lose their babies, and it's been so hard. And even just trying to help leaders around the nation, they'll reach out and be like, oh my gosh, one of our moms lost her baby, and how do I do this? How do I help her? And how do I walk alongside her? Because it's kind of an internal struggle a little bit with the leaders, because so the girls in Embrace Grace are pregnant. And so they've started relationships with these girls and all of that. But like for her to continue in Embrace Grace, I'm sure it would be really hard to be around pregnant women every single week. But then the leaders are like, do I kick her out? Like, how does this work when she's not pregnant anymore? And, we want to protect her heart, and it's just hard and complicated, but you guys have helped so much. And these love boxes or hope boxes, I'm sorry, ours are love boxes, yours are hope boxes, are so amazing. And I remember one time we had a mom that was pretty far along. And so we were like halfway to 3/4 of our semester. We were about to do the baby shower, and she lost her baby, and she had like a blood clot issues, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was something with clotting, and something that she didn't even know that she had a condition with, and it, even it being exposed ended up saving her life, but she lost the baby along the way, and it was just so heartbreaking. It was a little girl, and she named her, and so we were just like, what do we do? And it was kind of towards the end of the semester. We had built such great relationships with her, and so instead of the baby shower, we ended up doing like a special Princess Day just for her, like not with the other girls. And I remember we did it at my house, and I had someone come and do her hair and someone do her makeup. And it was several leaders, and we just had dinner at my dining room table. And we had like a memorial table for her daughter. She just wanted to talk about her, and there were pictures of her baby. And we got her like little jewelry and things like to help her remember her little girl.
Such a beautiful day.
It was such a beautiful day, and she felt so loved and seen. And it, it was hard at some points. There's sometimes when she would cry, but then sometimes she would laugh, and we just had a great time, just like honoring, this little one, and so that that was one way we did, and plus the hope boxes were just so like in that first moments, like, what do you say, and I know it's just all about just being there, and letting them grieve the way they need to be grieved, but not grieving alone, if they being able to be a consistent source. But tell us a little bit about your hope boxes, because they are actually, you can buy them on your website, right? So if anyone knows anyone that has lost a baby.
Yeah, you can buy them on our website. We give away many more than we sell. That's sort of what we do. We love giving the hope boxes away, but you can buy them. And yeah, with your girl that you were talking about, it's so important as awkward as it can feel for us, they're grieving so much more than we feel awkward. So that's why I always tell people, just do something, say something. You'll probably say the wrong thing. You might do the wrong, but they'll remember that you tried and that you made an effort and that you were there. She'll never forget that day that you guys celebrated her baby's life. and gave value to that life. I mean, that's what you guys are all about, the value of life, and that's what we're all about too. And so just putting a value on the life that was lost is, to me, one of the most important things that we can do. So that's what our hope box is. We send these boxes. They're much like your love box, because you guys have inspired us through the whole process of our ministry. And Amy, you've been so kind to sit down with me. And that's one thing I love about you, is that you do not hoard ministry, and you are so generous. It's like, why would we keep in these good ideas that we have? Let's share them. And you just share. You share all your good ideas and help us so much. But our hope box is sent out to moms when their baby dies, whether it's 6 weeks, 5 weeks, or whether it's stillbirth or shortly after birth. And we just changed them last year, and so they're even better than they were. They've got cozy socks in them, and Epsom salt, and just some things that would help, actually tangibly and physically help a mom to grieve, and then a journal and some other things in there that they can use when they're ready. And just a note from us that says, like, we're so sorry, we're so sorry. And for some of these ladies who receive them, we might be the only ones who have reached out. They may not have shared with a lot of people. And so it is a really nice way to just tell that mom and that dad, the couple that gets it, we see you, we're sorry, and you're not alone. Here are some resources, and we've got links of resources that they can access, so that they're not just given a box, but they're given some tools. And they go here and look at these. Here are some scriptures you can stand on, and here are some worship playlists, and here are some things you can do to help to actually process your grief. And one of the things that's been on my heart lately is just that in this culture, in this climate that we're in, where life is discarded and disregarded and not given value like it should be, moms who have miscarriages, whether they tried to conceive or not, I believe many of them are confused about whether or not they should be grieving anyways. Mm-hmm. So we get a lot of questions like, well, it was only 5 weeks, so was it really a baby? And all these things that we're able to speak into them. Not that we want them to grieve, but if they don't grieve now, they're going to end up having to grieve later. It all comes back around at some point. And so just being able to share the truth of the word and the truth about the life, and so that they can process and move forward in healing, because we believe that God heals our hearts completely, not just a little bit, not that we will forget or anything, but that we can move forward in complete healing, to where we're then able to help others after we've gone through the thing, that he took us through. So we just love getting to send our boxes. It's so bittersweet, to be honest. We will be celebrating that we're putting these boxes together, and we've had questions like, how can you be happy right now? We're happy because we know that these boxes actually inspire hope in people and point them to Jesus and point them to the truth about themselves, about their loss, and all those things. So it's just a gift, but it's so much, it's not just a gift, it's so much more. And gifts are my love language, so I can get wrapped up in the beauty of what it is. But it's, for me, it's not just that they get socks and some little things. It's that they get this letter, which it's funny. We always say the letter is like the cheapest thing in the box. It's the most valuable, because that's where the tools are and the links and the things that they can move forward if they choose to, and, process their grief with their spouse or with the Lord.
So good. Well, going through your loss, so obviously for people that are listening, a hope box is definitely something that is a way to help comfort someone a little bit, but was there anything else, any practical suggestions that you have that maybe helped you as you were going through your loss, that if people are listening out there and they just don't really know what to say or do, and then they kind of get paralyzed and don't do anything, what are some ways that you feel like helped you or you've seen helped others?
What if one box could save 2 lives? Well, we've created Love Boxes as an invitational gift for single and pregnant women to welcome them and to be a part of a local Embrace Grace support group, helping them to be brave in their choice for life. We ship Love Boxes for free to pregnancy centers all over the nation so that When they have a single and pregnant client walk in their doors, a love box can be placed in their hands. These boxes not only encourage a decision for life, but also invite single and pregnant women to join an Embrace Grace support group at a local church, inviting them to be a part of a spiritual family they will walk this season with, and if they'll allow it, their entire lives. To learn more about love boxes, visit www.embracegrace.com.
Well, immediately, I think that these are super practical things. So I'm not going to try to over spiritualize anything here, but sending food, especially if a lot of times moms will miscarry, but they have other children at home. I know I did, and the friends who sent me food, it just helped because I didn't want to have to worry about feeding my child and my husband and everything. To send, a meal train is like so practical when like a spouse passes away or a mom. But I think a lot of people forget too, when we lose a baby, it's also devastating. So that's a good option. I think gifts are good because they're just acknowledgement of the loss. Anything, flowers, something, drop off at the door. I always encourage to ask. Don't just ring the doorbell. Don't just come by, because they may not be in a place where they really want to talk right now. So just ask first. And one of the things that I love to share, because the Lord put this on my heart a few years ago, is to write down dates. So if you're a friend of somebody who's lost a baby, write down the date that it happened, and then check in on them, whether that's a month later, the month, because they're going to remember this. Oh yeah, it was on the 2nd, like today's the 2nd. That's going to be a hard day for you. And check in a year later and just keep checking in. I feel like, if you've lost anybody in your life, you probably know that people check in often right up at the front, but then they quit checking in. And that's when things get quiet, is sometimes when things can get hard. And so especially if you're the close friends, or the close circle of people, continue checking in and ask how they're doing. They want to be asked. They don't want that life to be forgotten. And then I actually encourage friends to encourage their friends who are going through miscarriage, to talk about that baby, and name their baby. So when ladies ask, what can I do? My friend had a miscarriage. One of the things I say is, ask her if she's named her baby, because oftentimes, especially if it's an early loss, they don't think their life was valuable enough, or they don't even think to do it. And so encouraging to name the baby is a big deal. Those are a few of the practical things. I think too, just asking the Lord, what can I do for my friend today? Sending a text, sending a scripture. Those are the things that kept me going. Just the text message with the copy and pasted scripture, because I didn't have the mental capacity or whatever, the soundness of mind in the moment to open my Bible. And so friends would just text me and put the word in me when I couldn't open it myself. Just being a good friend and not forgetting that loss is so important.
Yeah, that's so good. And I think that, having a whole life perspective is super important for everyone that's working and serving in the pro-life movement. And, we can't just serve these moms during their pregnancy. Like it speaks volumes if it's only while they're pregnant, and then if they lose a baby or even have an abortion, then we're just like, okay, good luck. Like, we have to be able to help them or touch back and check in, or see if they want to get connected to an abortion healing group, if they want to get connected to, if it was just an infant loss, that they get connected to some kind of support group. And I know that some churches have some, obviously counseling is really, really great too. Mm-hmm. And then you guys have retreats, but y'all are mainly in just the DFW area, right? Dallas-Fort Worth?
We are. Our boxes go all over, but our retreats for now are local.
Yeah. So even if someone's listening and they maybe that you've experienced infant loss in your past, but you have a heart for helping women that are in this situation, connecting with Lauren to see what she's doing, and if there's a way to work together or to start some kind of a small group at your church for grieving moms, you know, or just creating a support systems are huge. And if you can't find something like this in your community, then maybe either helping get it launched or starting it yourself, you know, if the Lord puts it on your heart too. So, well, yeah.
And stewarding the moment too, right, Amy? Like,
yes.
Just, I know you love Bob Goff. I was just finally reading his book, the Love Does book. I know I'm so behind, behind the times here, but he's such an advocate for just do it. Like, you don't have to necessarily talk about it. You don't necessarily have to start a 501c3. You don't necessarily have to make it this official thing and share it and tweet it and whatever it. Just steward the moment.
Yeah, just do something with what you have.
Whatever is in front of you.
Right. We overcomplicate things, and it's so true. He simplifies everything, and he's amazing. Definitely, if anyone's listening, they got to check out Bob Goff's, both of his books, Everybody Always and Love Does. And so, Lauren, how can people get connected to what you're doing? If they want to give, if they want to buy a Hope Box, or just know more about what you're doing, what are the ways they can connect with you?
Yeah, IamFruitful.org is a good place to start because we've got all of our links for social media. We focus on Instagram, but we're on Facebook as well. And so that website there has all the links for everything you would need. We even have a connect link. So if you want to get involved and volunteer, we can always use help. That's one thing that I love about our ministry. We are a volunteer run and we have a tight team. There are 17 of us. We're on a group text. We have weekly meetings. A lot of us are stay-at-home moms. And so we just get the job done from our living rooms. But it's a really special team, and we're always looking for new people to join. One of the things, though, is that we always check their hearts because a lot of ladies want to get involved with our ministry that are grieving. And so we want to help them walk through their grief before they join our team. But you can order Hope Boxes, and you can look at our retreat information. We're planning our next retreat for the fall. We didn't get to have one last year. I'm sure everyone can guess why.
Yeah.
And so we're planning our retreat for this fall. And we're really excited. We're trying to expand it so we can include more ladies. And we're going to have it out in Van, Texas. So a couple hours away, and just get with the Lord, have a bonfire, allow him to come in and heal our hearts.
That's so good.
Fantastic.
Well, Lauren, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and sharing about what God dreamed down in your heart. And we just hope everyone that's listening will get connected to what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I love that even in loss, we can be pro-life. Like whether it's abortion or miscarriage, infant loss, like there is opportunity for us to speak life and hope and love into people's journeys and just really point them to his heart. And I love how she took something that could have destroyed her. The loss of a child and a pregnancy can be devastating and so hard to walk through, but providing support and love and hope is just so important in this area.
Yeah, I mean, even that's the name of my book, Help Her Be Brave. The name of this podcast show is Help Her Be Brave, because the baby is super important for sure, but if we can focus on the mom and really help her be brave, then that affects everything. And that's in any life situation. Just that's what we're a spiritual family, and we don't kick each other when we're down. We pick each other up when we fall, and we say we're in this with you. Yeah. And so just being a constant, steady support is huge. And she had great ideas on how to help women in this situation. And I know sometimes we do kind of get awkward. Like we make it weird. We don't know how or what, but just simple things like what she was saying with the dates and things like that
it is so important. And you've experienced a miscarriage, right?
Yeah, I've had two, and it was really hard. And I had good support system. It wasn't something that one of them I put out on Facebook, one that I didn't, and they both were very early on, but still just, it's hard to you get excited about this life and but I know that one day I'm going to see my two extra little babies in heaven.
We're all going to be in heaven together.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, she's amazing. Yeah. Well, if you guys, thank you so much for watching today, for listening today. Please share this with your friends. If there's anyone that needs to hear this, then maybe God put someone on your heart that's like, so-and-so needs to hear this show or watch the show. please share it with your friends. Share it on your social media. You can subscribe through YouTube, watching it if you prefer to watch us talking, or if you like to listen in your car, you can subscribe through iTunes and Spotify to listen to our podcast. Either way you want to watch it, please watch or listen and share it with our friends, and also give us some good reviews. Give us some stars.
And check out helpherbebrave.com.
Yes.
You can submit ideas, feedback through the website. Check out Amy's new book, maybe purchase it.
Yeah, and we have a new quiz, that you can go on if you're still not really sure where to get started. Go to helpherbebrave.com and click take the quiz, and it'll give you great ideas that are customized just for you. So check that out. And so just thank you guys so much for listening today, and we can't wait to see you next week.